Dear students, in this video, I am going to discuss the question, explain the specimen pro forma of trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet under the concept of sole proprietorship. So dear students, trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet, they are prepared at the end of the year and these are known as financial statement. The first, that is trading and profit and loss account, is also known as income statement. It discloses the profit made or loss incurred by the concern during a definite period of time, whereas balance sheet indicates financial position of the concern on a given date. So let's talk about the income statement first, and its first part is trading account. It is prepared as to show gross profit or loss on account of purchasing the goods and selling them. And features are, it's prepared at the end of an accounting period. It shows gross profit or loss from buying and selling of goods. It's a nominal account. Net sales is shown on the credit side and cost of goods sold on debit side. And the balance of this account is transferred to profit and loss account. It is prepared before the preparation of profit and loss account. And here is the pro forma of trading account for the year ending on. So let's talk about the items which appear on debit side of trading account. First of all, opening stock. It means stock with the businessman at the start of the accounting year. Stock of goods unsold at the end of previous accounting year will become opening stock for the current year. Then we have purchases, that is goods purchased for the purpose of selling, and these are both cash purchases as well as credit purchases, and purchases returns must be deducted and the balance on net purchases should be debited to trading account. Then direct expenses. Okay, these are the expenses incurred by the business to make goods sellable. For example, we have wages and salaries. Wages is a direct expense, so it is debited to trading account. Wages and salaries, when shown as one account, is conventionally treated as direct expenses and is charged to trading account. Custom duty is paid on import and export of goods. Custom duty paid on purchase of goods is charged to trading account, and excise duty is paid on goods manufactured and consumed in the country. This is shown on debit side of trading account. Carriage and cartage, when paid on purchase of goods, are debited to trading account. Royalty is the payment made to the owner for using his rights or patents. If royalty is based on the production, it will be debited to trading account. If royalty is based on the sale price of goods sold, then it is charged to profit and loss account. Octroi, it is tax by local body on the goods entering the municipal limits. So it's also expenditure on purchases, so it will be debited to trading account. Dock charges or clearance charges, these are the expenses paid to port authorities at the time of taking delivery of goods. So these are the part of purchase cost, so it should be debited to trading account. Various factory expenses like factory rent rates, insurance, factory lighting, factory cleaning, then repairs and depreciation of factory machinery and loose tools, they are also debited to trading account. Then items on credit side, we have sales. This include all cash and credit sales of goods during the period, and return inward should be deducted from it. Then we have closing stock. It is the value of the goods which remain unsold at the end of the accounting period. Usually it is given outside the trial balance, in which case it is shown on the credit side of trading account and also as an asset in balance sheet. But if it is given in the trial balance, then it appears only as an asset in balance sheet, since in that case purchases are already adjusted. Now we talk about profit and loss account, which is the second part of income statement. It is prepared to know what is the net profit or net loss of business during a particular period. So it's prepared at the end of accounting period to know the net profit or net loss. It starts with the balance from trading account. All indirect expenses or losses are debited and other incomes are credited to profit and loss account. Difference show net profit or net loss, which is further transferred to capital account of the proprietor. And here is the pro forma of profit and loss account. So let's talk about items which are debited to profit and loss account. Gross loss of trading account, if any. Establishment expenses, these are the expenses relating to general staff and building, like salaries of staff, rent, rate, insurance of building, its repairs, lighting, etc. Then administrative expenses like salary of managerial staff, office expenses like insurance, general expenses, printing and stationery, telephone, legal charges, etc. So these are debited to profit and loss account. Then we have selling and distribution expenses. Expenses incurred at the time of sale and delivery. For example, advertising, selling commission, godown rent, discount on sales, rent of showroom, salesman salary, etc. Depreciation on assets like building, machinery, furniture, patent, loose tools, etc. That is debited to profit and loss account. And provisions for future losses like provisions for doubtful debts on debtors, provision for discount on debtors, they are also debited to profit and loss account. Then financial expenses, revenue charges which are incurred with regard to raising of capital and loans like interest on capital, interest on loan, bank charges, interest on overdraft. They are called financial expenses and debited to profit and loss account. There may be losses during the year due to abnormal reasons. For example, stock may be stolen or destroyed by fire. Losses suffered on sale of fixed assets. So these losses should also be debited to profit and loss account. Then on credit side of P&L account, we have gross profit, which is transferred from trading account, and other incomes. Now, every business may earn profits from other activities except sales. Like a sole trader may receive commission, interest, discount, rent. Or there may be the abnormal gain like profit on sale of fixed assets. So these are the part of other incomes which are credited to profit and loss account. Then let's talk about balance sheet. It is prepared at a particular point of time. It discloses the assets owned by business and total claims of outsiders and owners against these assets at a particular point of time. The sum of liabilities and capital should be equal to assets. In the words of Freeman, a balance sheet is an item-wise list of assets, liabilities, and proprietorship of a business at a certain date. Marshalling of balance sheet. It's an order in which liabilities and assets are shown in the balance sheet. And there are two possibilities. First, in order of liquidity. In this possibility, cash or bank balance or other assets which can be converted into cash easily. They are shown first and fixed assets are shown next. Similarly, on liability side, current liabilities are followed by the long-term liabilities and fixed liabilities. Then in order of permanence, this is totally reverse of the above point, that is in order of liquidity. What we do in this, fixed assets will be followed by current assets and capital and long-term liabilities will be followed by current liability. So here is the balance sheet of a balance sheet pro forma as on a particular date, and here we have used the in order of this has been made in order of permanence. So let's talk about the items which appear on balance sheet. Like we have assets. So in balance sheet, assets may be classified like we have the fixed assets. These are assets of a relative permanent nature used in operations of business and not intended for sale, like building, plant, machinery, furniture, fixture, etc. Then we have intangible assets. These are assets which cannot be seen or touched but has some value and these contribute to the profits of the concern, like goodwill, patents, trademarks, copyrights. Then we have the current assets. Those assets which are convertible into cash through the normal course of business within a short time, ordinarily a year. For example, cash in hand, cash at bank, trade debtors, bills receivable, inventory, etc. Fictitious assets. These are the assets which are not represented by any tangible possession or property. These are really items of expenditure and losses of an unusual nature, which could not be written off. Example is preliminary expenses, research and development expenditure, heavy advertisement expenditure, debit balance of profit and loss account. Now let's talk about liabilities. So liabilities, we have different categories, like we have fixed and long-term liabilities. Fixed liabilities are those liabilities which are payable on termination of the business, like capital of a proprietor. Long-term liabilities are those which do not become due for payment within next accounting period and which do not require current assets for their repayment, like long-term loans, debentures of a company. Current liabilities, which are generally due and payable within next accounting period and which are paid out of current assets, like trade creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft, outstanding expenses. Then we have contingent liabilities. These are not actual liabilities, but their becoming actual liabilities depend on happening of a certain events. If such events do not occur, no liability is incurred. For example, a claim against the business unit not acknowledged as debt is a contingent liability, because it is only if and when the case is lost that liability will be incurred. If the case is won, there will be no liability, and these liabilities are not shown in balance sheet. Usually a footnote is appended at the end of balance sheet for such a liability, so it may give true and fair view of state of concerns affairs. Another example is bill discounted with bank. It is also a contingent liability. If it is met on due date, there is no liability, but if it is dishonored, it will be a liability. So in the last, we can say preparation of financial statement is the last step in the accounting process. These are prepared at the end of accounting period to determine the financial performance of the business. That is, we come to know about profit or loss suffered by the business, and we come to know about the financial position of the business. Thank you.